Not the TV. We're live.
Wait, 1 second. I'm just gonna make sure that the camera's not upside down. Cause I've had that happen to me before, and it sucked. Never mind. We're gonna have to have it like this. All right. Should be good. We're gonna. Hang on, remote Carter.
Yep.
So we're here with Triumph Sports Network. We're just gonna be talking sports and news, basically. So about sports, we can do some football, baseball, pretty much anything. College basketball, I think a little bit.
Yeah.
That's what you want to do at least. Here, I'm gonna make sure where you can hear us. Can you guys hear me? I'm gonna pull up the comments real quick. Maybe some people are in.
Di video kali ini saya mau
What is that? There it goes. Oh, wait. Subscribe. That. Wow, I already have 3 watching. Alright, can you guys hear me? Got 4 watching. I'm just saying on this computer. Alright, yeah, so you guys can hear me. Alright, so that's good. First thing that we're gonna talk about is football, because we also have Kansas City Chiefs versus 49ers. Kansas City Chiefs, sorry. And then we got 49ers, Eagles. Who do you think's gonna win the Eagles-Niners game, and what's the score predictions, and just break me down on that game?
I think that the 49ers are going to win that game. I think it's going to be a close game. I think it's going to be like 24. I'll give it 24-17, 49ers. I think that Brock Purdy's going to have a good game. And I feel like the 49ers have been good enough this whole postseason so far. Make it to the Super Bowl this season. And for the other game, for the Chiefs game, Chiefs-Bengals, I think that Mahomes will, since he's, I think that he's the better quarterback over Joe Burrow, and I think that he'll outdo the Bengals in that game. Even though the Bengals did make it to the Super Bowl last year, I'm not sure if they can redo it.
Yeah, so I'm going to start with the Eagles-Niners. I do personally want the Eagles to win. I think had a really nice comeback season. Jalen Hurts was awesome. He was injured for a couple games. And then we got I have Jason Kelsey. He's probably the best center in the league. A.J. Brown, great receiver. I think it's going to be a very good game. I think my score prediction for that, it's going to be 27-24 Eagles. And for the Chiefs, I'm going to go Chiefs-Bengals. I want the Chiefs to win because the Bengals, they just had the Super Bowl. The Chiefs have won a little bit more rings. But I do think I want the Chiefs to win, and it's going to be a very close game. I'm going to say 35-32 Chiefs.
Do you think that Mahomes is gonna go crazy passing, or do you think that they're going? Do you think that they're gonna do a lot?
Juju's a good receiver. They definitely have him. He'll use Kelsey a lot. He does have an ankle, but he's been full practice. He's not going to get excluded in any of the practices this week. And I do think he'll be fine. And they're in Kelsey mostly, but. Alright, so now, do you want to move on to baseball?
Yeah, we can talk. We can talk about the off season of baseball. Which trade do you want to start out with?
Probably the biggest one that people kind of forgot about, Jacob DeGrom going to the Rangers.
Wasn't that just an off season?
That's an awesome
Like
trade.
just signing, just free agent signing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that the I can't remember exactly what the contract was for that.
Here, I'll
but,
pull it up. You can.
but I think that the Rangers did get a really good signing in that, and I think that he will be one of the better pitchers in the league, and he might even get the Rangers back into the postseason again, which they haven't been in for a little bit now.
Yeah. So his contract is 5 years, 185 million. So one of the most in the MLB, which is quite a bit. So, and he's guaranteed that he's gonna be getting 37 million in 2023.
Yeah, so I think that with him for pitching and Corey Seager, who I think is still on that team, right?
Yep.
I think that, and if Dolis Garcia, I think he's still on that team. If he does,
Yeah,
if he has one of the, if he has a good season like I think that he did in 2021, I think was that good season for him. I think that if he can do that, then there'll be a
contender.
a postseason contender.
Yeah, Jacob DeGrom, he had a 3.08 ERA last year. I think it'll be good. The Rangers got a big sign. They're definitely one of the more improving teams, and I think they'll definitely. I don't know if they have enough to top in that NL.
AL West.
AL West, yes,
with
sir.
Yeah, especially with the Astros.
The Astros and the Mariners are going to be good. Angels are going to be because Gio Urshela is another big signing, kind of. Is that going to work out? I don't really know.
I think with
Which I
that,
think
I think, wait, in what?
the Gio Urshela signing for the Angels.
I haven't really, I'm not sure how good that's gonna be. Because Gio Urshela hasn't really I don't think he's had his best season yet. I think we're just
No.
waiting for that.
He had a decent season with the Yankees, his first season with the Yankees. Let me pull up his stats.
Yeah, I think we're still waiting for that good season.
I do think that. Pull it up here. Alright, so in the 2022, he had 501 at-bats, 61 runs, 43 hits with 13 homers, 64 RBIs, 1 stolen base, and a 285 average. The 338 OBP and a 767. It's
Yeah.
terrible.
Yeah, the back percentage are definitely good.
Mhm.
They're good, but he needs to get more
He needs to get more power.
RBIs, more home runs, more power up six.
Yeah, he is 31. I didn't even know that. But he'll probably play second, wouldn't you say? Because they have Ryan at third.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, moving on to the Saturday. Oh wait, what? All right, wait 1 second. I think we're still live. Wait 1 second. We're still
Yeah.
live, right?
Yes, I believe so.
Wait, our internet connection is just not being good right now. Yeah, I think we should be good. If the quality's bad, we are in our basement. But the Bulls straight out of the Cubs fan, I don't like it.
I definitely think the Cubs should have gotten rid of him at the trade deadline. Because now they're not getting anything out of him, and we knew that the Cubs were not going to be a playoff contender at all midway through the season. So if the Cubs just got rid of Contreras, at the deadline, they could have at least gotten something out of him. But now they're getting nothing when we all knew that they weren't going to make the playoffs at all.
Yeah, they got nothing from one of the best pitchers in the game. Now he's going to the Cardinals, Cubs rival. Don't really like that. I know my friend that's a Cubs fan, or Cardinals fan, sorry. He likes that, but do you think the Cubs will be good this year? They got Swanson, they got Bellinger, they got Tyon, they got Tucker Barnhart.
I think we have to give them another year or two. I think that they'll be able to make the postseason again in 2024. I think that's going to be the next year. I don't think that they're going to do it this year. Then we got to give them another year to get more free agent signings and get some of their younger players more experience.
Swanson was probably the best signing of the offseason. That's a great shortstop. He's been great for Atlanta. He's come to Chicago. He's going to be a great shortstop. I mean, now they have 6 Gold Glovers on the field. They got Ian Happ. They got Cody Bellinger. They got Dansby Swanson. They have Nico Horner. They have Patrick Wisdom. They have Tucker Barnhart. They have Seiya Suzuki. Like, those are some good pieces. With their rotations go with Tyon, Hendricks, Stroman, Thompson, and who's going to be their 5th starter? What's his name?
If Alzolay...
Justin Steele.
And
Alzolay, yeah.
I think Alzolay should be more of a bullpen pitcher. I think that he'd play better in bullpen because his ERA goes up when he's starting. He allows more runs and he's better in short bursts, I guess, for a few innings.
Yeah, and then what was I gonna say? So I actually went to CubsCon. If you saw my video of the David Ross speech, he said that they're going to try to work with Alzolay, Jed Hoyer, and Ross, Jed Hoyer and Ross. They said they're all going for playoffs this year. They're working on Cody Bellinger with his hitting, making sure everything's good on that. And he said he's probably not going to be 2019 Cody, but he's going to be a good Cody, and that they're going to have a good team. Morale.
I'm wondering what's going to happen with Cody Bellinger because he hasn't been good since 2019, and that's when him and Yelich were both going for the MVP, and now both of those players are bad. Like they're not even average; they're both below average. So if the Cubs can do something with Cody and make him back to that 2019 Cody, or even just a little bit worse than that 2019 Cody, I think that the Cubs would. I'm not sure if they're playoff contenders yet. I think we've got to wait a little bit for that, but I think that they can be middle of their division. Especially, I don't think that the Pirates are really going to do anything this year, or the Reds. I think the Brewers I think the Cardinals will lead that division, and the Brewers will come in second. I think that's what's going to happen with the Central.
Yeah, Cody Bellinger 2022, 504 at-bats, only 106 hits, 19 homers, and only 4 at-bats, only 106 hits, 19 homers, and only batting .210 with 68 RBIs, 14 stolen bases, and 70 runs. The slugging percentage of 389. Trying to find his 2019 season.
I definitely think that Cody is a risk though.
He is,
Especially with how much they're paying him. I don't like how much they're paying him. I think that they're overpaying him for how bad he's been the past 2 years now.
Alright, in 2019, and he played 156 games, 558 at-bats, 121 runs, 170 hits, 34 doubles, 3 triples, 47 homers, 115 RBIs, 95 walks, got hit by a pitch 3 times, stolen bases 15, with an average of 305, highest in his career, and then with an OBP of 406, slugging at 629, OPS of 1.034, and a WAR of 9.0. That is a good season.
Yeah, but 2021 Cody, his WAR was -1.5. Which means that you could get any average outfielder. You could get any average outfielder, and they would be better than Cody Bellinger that year. And this year he was only 1.2. It is more than a negative, so I guess he was above average. But that 210 batting average isn't enough. And if he's gonna bat that, we need 30 plus home runs from him. He only got 19. So
Agreed.
If he can start hitting home runs again, then maybe we could live with that 210 batting average. But if he's not gonna hit home runs, then I'm not sure that he's gonna be too good.
Where do you think the Cubs will be? Where do you think the Cubs will place in the division? Do you think that they're going to be better than the Brewers, which I think they do? Do you think they'll be better than the Cardinals, which I'm a little skeptical? But the Cardinals are missing Yachty now, but have Wilson.
I think that Wilson is an upgrade from Yachty because Yachty was getting old. He was past his prime, but I think the Cardinals will win that division, the NL Central, and I think it'll be a little bit close between the Cubs and the Brewers. I think that the Brewers will win it by like 4 or 5 games for second place. I think the Cubs will come in third, and I'll put the Reds above the Pirates because I think that I don't really feel like the Pirates have anything this year. They haven't had anything for a while now, though.
Yeah.
It's been a long rebuild.
Yeah. I think it's going to go Cardinals number 1. I think they're still going to lead the division. They have Arenado. They have Dylan Carlson. They have Goldschmidt. They have Wainwright. They have what's his name? Tyler O'Neill. Brewers, I think the Cubs are going to place in second. And Brewers in third. The Brewers they're just going to have a downfall season. Devin Williamson did good. Jordan Burns was pretty good still. Not as good as his 2021 season when Devin Williams was really good. So their pitching is good. Their relief is terrible. They have Christian Ellis that can't do anything. They have Willie Adames, which was good with the Rays for a while. He's not been as great with the Brewers. I just don't know with the Brewers right now. And then the Pirates, I think we're going fourth. They've been a good rebuild. They have O'Neill Cruz now. That's going to be a big factor. And the Reds, they're just dominant.
I think that the Reds, if you just give them some time, that's good. If you just because they had Eugenio Suarez. He did good for a few years, but he's been doing, it seems to be worse and worse now. Mm-hmm. And now the Mariners have him, and he hasn't really done much.
And the Mariners now have Jesse Winker, but Jesse Winker, what team did he go to? I forgot. I think it was the Rays, maybe?
Sounds right. But
maybe the Rays. Go ahead.
Yeah, Eugenio Suarez. Well, is
Suarez
Votto,
was
is,
good.
Va- is Votto still on that Reds team?
Yes.
Yes. So I know Votto's getting old now. He's past his prime, but if the Reds can do something with what was his name? Jonathan India, he's gonna be good. He won that Rookie of the Year. I feel like he's gonna go to the times. I don't think he's gonna be a Hall of Fame player. He's gonna be like an MVP award player, but I think that he's going to be an all-star at some point. So if they can have him and they can get a few more signings next years, I feel like the Reds will be a postseason team. I'm not sure about World Series yet, but I don't know who they're going to sign. So I can't be saying anything about that. But
Going with the Pirates, they've good people. I mean, they didn't really have an offseason. They have Ono Chris. It's going to be amazing. There's 105 in short first. You don't get a guy like that. And then you have, why can I not think of his name? You have David Bender, great pitcher, outstanding pitcher. And now going back to the Cubs, at CubsCon they said, everybody knows that the Cubs defense is going to be good this year. I mean, they have outstanding players. And Jed Hoyer is saying is, people are sleeping on our hitting. Our hitting's going to be good. We have Ian Happ, who considerably had one of his best years of his career last year. We have Dansby Swanson, who's an extra base hit machine. If he can elevate the ball and get home runs too, that's amazing. Nico Horner, great contact guy. Patrick Wisdom, he's got power hitter. Cody Bellinger, if he can figure out his swing, that's another power hitter.
they have Nick Madrigal.
Madrigal.
If he
Last
last
season
season
wasn't
wasn't
good,
good though. He was in the minor leagues for a little bit. I actually went and saw him in the minor leagues against the Indianapolis Indians. But he hasn't been as good as he was when he was with the White Sox. When he was with the White Sox, he was decent and he was looking like a really good player. Now, I'm not really sure what to think about him. He's a good contact hitter, but his average has been down for a while. Like it's not been where people are expecting. I think people are expecting more of a 285 to 300 hitter
Yeah.
for like hitting for singles. Low 200s.
He had a good season with the Sox, though. He went over to the Cubs. They got Cody Hoyer.
Yeah, they got.
He had that arm surgery, or I think it was a surgery.
Yeah.
But Tommy John, right?
I'm not sure if it's Tommy John. It might have been.
But he's going to be back this season, and I think he's going to be pretty good.
He can throw hard.
Yeah.
But we're gonna see if that injury is gonna really affect him. Because if that injury affects him, then the White Sox won that trade between the Cubs and the White Sox. They won that trade if Cody Hoyer does bad. And
Yeah. So.
I don't think we've really seen much of Cody Hoyer yet, just because of his injury.
Yeah, agreed.
I don't think we've seen enough.
Agreed. Why is this stream paused? How do think it's going? Sorry that you guys didn't see that, but we're just talking about Nick Madrigal, and his how he's pretty good with the West Sox that 1 year, and then we're seeing what he's gonna do, and same with Cody Hoyer, see what they're gonna do this season. I was gonna look up. I don't remember now. But
I kind of want to talk about the Padres for a second.
Padres, we can do that real quick. We're actually watching Kansas, Kentucky. Kansas is up 76. Of course, now goes to a men's championship thing.
The Australian Open. Djokovic, who's playing in the finals again. One of the better tennis players.
77-68 with 25 seconds left in the game. So it looks like Kansas is going to win. Kansas is 9 seed. Kentucky's unranked.
Yes. Kentucky has had a down year, but they've had a few. But their past games
Wow,
have
we
been
just
good.
airballed that 3.
Kansas, this would be a bounce back win for them because they're playing against a hot Kentucky team on the road. Or at least right now, Kentucky's hot, but
Yeah, Kansas won the game.
they've had a few not bad losses. They've been against good teams, but they needed this win. If they didn't get this win, if I were ranking them, I would definitely put them low top 25. I'd put them like somewhere in the 20s.
Yeah, so Kentucky just won the game 76-65, right?
Yeah, that's in the SEC Big 12 Challenge, where the Big 12 has 7 wins so far, and SEC's only got 3. I thought that the SEC would do better, especially with Alabama in there playing at
No,
Oklahoma.
77-68.
At Oklahoma, but Alabama had that surprising loss against Oklahoma. They got killed by them.
Yeah, so we're going to talk about the Padres, more baseball, and then we're probably going to come back to a little bit of football and maybe and talk about some college basketball, but we're going to take a break. So I don't know how long of a break it's going to be, but we're just going to take a quick break, and we'll start streaming back here in a couple minutes. Wait. we are back. My phone just needs to charge a little bit. We'll probably take a break another 10 or so, 10, 15 minutes. But my man over here wants to go talk about the Padres. So take it away.
Okay, so I personally think that the Padres will be pretty good. I think that the Padres could go to the World Series this year.
Whoa,
Because
whoa.
I think that after Tatis' suspension's over, which I don't think that he deserved the suspension, but I'm not going to get into any of that. Now,
Better not.
well, once the suspension's over, I think that the Padres are going to go on a run because they got Yu Darvish still, I believe. They've got Tatis. They'll have Manny Machado. They've got some bullpen pitching. Snell on their team. Not Tommy
Blake?
Snell. Blake Snell. Blake Snell. That's who it is. But they have him on the team. I know he hasn't been good since he was on the Rays. But if he could have a season like when he was on the, be really good. Good enough to win the NL West just because they still got the Dodgers in there. But
Yeah.
I think they're a first wild card spot team.
First wild card spot?
Yeah, that's where I'd put them. I think they'd win the wild card. And then most likely play either the Dodgers or the Mets, depending on which team's going to be better. This would be one of the first years that was actually close to that first place spot, because usually it's the Dodgers lately. But now I think that the Mets are going to have a really good chance to win that first place spot for the playoffs.
Alright, yeah, sorry guys, I'm trying to get to a spot where I can plug in my phone. So, we're going to take another break. Sorry about that. But we'll be really quick this time.
Okay, so
Alright, we are back. We had to plug in our phone and reposition the camera.
Do you want to continue talking about the Padres, or do you want to...
Do you have anything more to say about the Padres? I don't really have anything for the Padres, so.
No, I'm not sure how much it was cut out of it, but it's fine.
Alright, do we want to go on Carlos Correa or Aaron Judge?
Aaron Judge.
So, the Giants, oh my gosh, they were after him so hard. They had him. It was Jeff Passan on Twitter said, Giants finalizing a deal with Aaron Judge. Usually that means that they got him. About an hour later, Jeff Passan says, Aaron Judge signs with, here, let me pull up the contract here real quick. Jeff Passan tweets, Aaron Judge signed a 9-year, $360 million year contract with the Yankees. They had him for about an hour. Not even. Like, that is just crazy.
And
Jets are so bad luck.
didn't the Yankees offer him less for that though?
Yes, but then they won up the Giants at the last minute.
Yeah, I think that the Giants got robbed out of that. The Giants should have had him, but then the Yankees just outdid it.
Oh, the game. So we're watching Vanderbilt, Texas A&M now. And Vanderbilt just took the lead 66-65. 2:16 left in the second half. Now it's 66-66. But, now Carlos Correa. Oh, my God.
And it's all because of his physical.
It's all because of his physical. Carlos Correa signed with the Giants again. About 2 days later, the Giants looked at his physical and said, nope. Again, another player. The Giants just cannot keep people. And then
Yeah, this is probably one of the most heartbreaking off seasons for the Giants. They
It
get two
has to
star players, and they both
Lost
opt out.
them in about-
and they both opt out of the contract. One because of the Yankees just out paying him, and then just Carlos Correa's physical. They couldn't accept it, but
And then about a week later, not even, half a week later, they go out. The Mets signed shortstop Correa to I think it was a 13-year deal.
yeah, it was a long one.
And about another half a week later, Mets said, nope, we don't want you anymore. Your physical's bad. And then about a week and a half or so ago, they go out. Twins signed them for, I think it was 6 years. Let me look it up real quick.
Yeah, but if Steve Cohen and the Mets got him, that would have just been another big signing for the Mets. Because the Mets went crazy this offseason because of the new owner, who has shown that he's been willing to spend unlike their last owner. And he's gotten Verlander, and he almost got Correa, and he got a few other good signings.
Yeah, so, according to the New York... Alright, so this is, according to the New York Times, on December 21st, the shortstop signed a $315 million contract with the Mets. 3 weeks later, he signed a $200 million deal with the Minnesota Twins. It's a 6-year, $200 million signing. And the Mets a 12-year, $315 million signing. So a little bit or less money for less years. Is that a good option for Carlos Correa?
No, he should have went with the Mets because the Mets.
Well,
I
he
think
didn't
he- I
have an
think he-
option.
I know he didn't have an option, but he should have gotten that physical under control, I guess. He should have figured that out. After the Giants didn't want him because of it, he should have got that figured out before he signed with the next team, but he chose not to. So,
I know.
which I think was a stupid decision for him.
That's
So then, and I think that he would have had more fun playing with a playoff team with them. So I think that the Mets have a way higher percent chance to make the World Series or a deep playoff run with the Mets and the Twins. I'm not sure if the Twins are going to be contenders this year or anything. I don't think that they're going to do too much.
That brings up my next question. How do you think the Twins are going to be this year? They have they have Correa back as a team. They have Luis Arias, pretty good. Sonny Gray. What's your take on? They're going to be the AL Central is such a bad division, but such a good division at the same time. They have the White Sox, the Guardians, the Twins, the Royals, the Tigers. All 5 of those teams could be good teams. White Sox are the league leader, or are projected to be the league leaders by a ton every year. They get so many injuries. It's such a downfall. I've gone to a White Sox in 2 years in a row now, both to see the Angels, and they won both times. But like, I just saw something the other day. Eloy Jimenez said to the White Sox, "I'm not playing defense anymore, or I'm playing defense. And if you're not gonna play me in defense, I'm not gonna play." And he's terrible at defense. Like, the White Sox are a very good team that just lost one of their best players, if not the best, in Jose Abreu, and just have injury threats, and they're just a big question mark.
I think that the whole division is. I think
Yeah,
that
honestly.
I guess we don't know, because any team in that division can win the division. I believe that if the Tigers have a good year, they can win it. If the Royals have a good year, they can win it. If the Twins have a good year, they can win it. Anyone in that division can win it.
That's what I said. It's a very good division, but a very bad division at the same time.
Any of those teams could have a surprise year. They could all do
Okay.
really good. But I feel like the Twins are a third place team in that division. I feel like they're in the Cubs place. Like where the situation that the Cubs are in. They're decent but not good enough. They need to have a few more. They need to have a little bit more experience, I guess, a little bit, and they need to have a few more good signings, and they'll be good. Because they used to have Kenta Maeda, who was a really good pitcher.
Exactly.
That 1 year, I think for COVID year, 2020, I think. I think that he had a really good season that year, but he hasn't done much since.
They have Juan Duran.
He's
Their closer, I think.
yeah, Kenta Maeda has just kind of disappeared.
Yeah, Juan Duran, he throws so hard. He's pretty good. He had a good, was it 2020 or 2021 season? I think it was 2021.
Yeah.
Good 2021 season. He had a decent 2022. Not as good as his 2021 season. But, the Royals now, they have Salvi. He's getting older, but he's still a solid catcher. Solid bat. I think he was dealing with a little bit of injury last year, wasn't he?
I can't remember.
Yeah, I don't know. They have Bobby Wood Jr. Didn't have a good first half. First month or so, couple months. He had a great second half of the season, and they did true with Miracle. But they have the Michael A. Taylor, right, in center?
Yeah.
He had a bounce back second half. They did get rid of Benintendi. They're getting rid of people, but they're adding young. They're a very young team that could be good
Yeah, Bobby Wood Jr.
in a couple of years.
I believe went his first, I think, 2 to 3 months without hitting his first home run.
Mm-hmm.
And he had a really low batting average and everything, because I remember it took forever for him to hit that first home run. Zach Campbell went to a few of his games.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just trying to see that first home run or catch that first home run. But I don't think it happened while he was there. I think it took even longer.
Because he went to like a month straight of going just to a Royals game. And I'm like, I was watching the videos. I'm like, bro, another Royals game. And I'm like, I get it. But first of all, shout out to Zach Campbell. My dude, he's got. Oh, hold up. I gotta look at his channel real quick. But like, he just goes to baseball games for a living. And he's got like millions and millions of subscribers. Zach Campbell. He's got ARS 300. He caught Derek Jeter's whatever special home run. Mike Trout's first home run. Vladdy's Jr.'s first home run. He's got 645 subscribers. Bro is insane.
And I think that
Like-
he's caught his 13,000th ball last season.
Yep. Biggest 13,000 hit. Wait, what is this? But they have good people. Wait, what is? Hold up. But they had, yeah. And then I was gonna tell you now. They signed Javi. He was decent at the beginning. Kind of sucked in the second half. He's just kind of one of those players. Like, is he really good? Cause when Joe Madden was the manager of the Cubs, Joe Madden knew how to control him. And when he got a little worked up, Joe Madden would bring him back down to normal. And he was an amazing player in that 2018.
Yeah, 2018. He won. I think 2018 he won that Silver Slugger.
Yeah, and almost I honestly think he should have won MVP over Christian Yelich.
Yeah, but it was also Christian Yelich and Bellinger.
No,
Yelich-
that was 19.
Yeah, but they were both doing it both those years.
Yeah,
Bellinger
sure.
was still good in 2018, but he's better season.
Yeah,
2019.
wasn't his rookie season 2017?
Yeah, I think so.
2017.
But
His
he was-
rookie year. I remember in MLB shows, MLB 19. So I think it was even 18. I don't
I'm not
recall.
sure.
But I know in MLB 19, his rookie year, Cody Bellinger, 2018 rookie year, 2017 rookie year, was a good year. 2018 was a meh year for him. Did he win Rookie of the Year?
I believe he did.
Uh,
I think he had to have.
Cody Bellinger.
Yep.
Yep, he won the Rookie of the Year in 2017. 2019, I remember he started off as a silver in MLB 19. He jumped up in with the first half of the season to a diamond, to over 90 plus diamond.
Yeah,
That's how good he is. And now in MLB 22, it's turned into a video section. But now in 2022, MLB 2022, he has 99 milestone cards, 99 award series cards, 99 postseason cards, because of how good his 2019 season was. And even his 2020 season, it wasn't as good as his 19, but it wasn't awful.
Yeah, it was below average. I think. I don't think for Cody Bellinger, it was below average, but he's just been getting worse and worse.
His 2020 season, he only played 56 games due to an injury. But in those 56 games, he had 213 at-bats, 33 hits. Or no,
Well, 2020
33 runs, 51... Oh, wait, no. He only had 56 games because there's only like 60-something...
Yeah,
there's
it was
only
a 60 game season, and it was... and if the team had COVID, they would stop playing the series, so...
Oh, wow,
That's probably also...
Yeah, and then he had 213 ABs with 33 runs, 51 hits, 10 doubles, 0 triples, 12 homers, 30 RBIs, 30 walks. He was a big walk guy there. What's that? He had 6 stolen bases with an average of 239. The slugging percentage of 4.55 with a WAR of 1.4 and a 9. Not a great season.
Yeah, but
definitely not a terrible season.
yeah, but like I said, we can live with that 239 batting average, 210 batting average if he's hitting home runs. And that season he got 12.
And that was a
12 home
short
runs.
season.
Yeah, he got 12 home runs in a shortened season. This season, he had 144 games, and he only got 19 home runs. He got 7 more home runs than he did in the shortened season than this longer season, and he had a worse batting average. We can live with the lower batting average for the Cubs if he can hit home runs, which he was doing in that 2020 season, which is why he wasn't terrible. But he's been getting worse because he can't hit home runs anymore. I think pitchers have figured him out, or he's changed something.
Yeah,
I don't
his
think
batting stance has changed every year. Let me see if I can roll something up.
He might have changed something, but I think that pitchers are also figured him out.
Yeah. Bellinger swing changes So you guys are this, but 2019, his stance was like this, kind of right here. 2020 had a little bit higher, and his feet
were
were
a little bit more
closer to
spread.
the box.
Yeah.
2021,
He opened
had his,
it.
he opened foot and started setting it on his shoulder.
Which made him more of a pole hitter. Because when you have that open stance, you're more of a pole hitter and you'll hit it more towards right field as a lefty. So I think that might be part of his problem. So he's changing his stance too much. I think that he should just keep it the same. So then, because I think it's messing him up. Go back to what your 2019 stance is, and you'll play like 2019 Bellinger. You didn't. There was nothing you needed to fix in 2019. I don't know why you're fixing your stance when you're an MVP player. There's nothing you needed to fix. But now that you fixed it, now that you tried to fix it once and it was worse, you had to try to fix it again, and you made it.
Step out. He had a step out problem. Because here, you guys can see this, but he stepped way out on this pitch. And those hands are not going to go anywhere where you want them to go.
Yeah. He needs to be more under control.
And there, his hips, he's dropping the barrel. 2021 splits, not terrible, I guess.
This postseason was good.
Yeah, his postseason was good. But, so he was at CubsCon, and he was talking about how the shift is going to be banned. We'll get to that in a minute, in our opinion. But, he said, throughout Little League, he's like, in travel ball, they're like, drive up the mid. You guys may have seen this video before. If you hit a line drive up the middle, that's a base hit. Like, that is a hit. But now you have Manny Machado, your third baseman, Manny Machado over there at second grabbing everything. He's like, with this shift band, it's gonna help so much left-handed hitters.
I want to talk about the shift.
All right.
So for the shift,
We'll get to that in a minute. I'm gonna see if maybe we can pull that up. Talks about shift.
Adams, nice look. Wilson.
Don't know what that is. Oh, this is this. Mute that. So here it is when he talks about it. What do you call it? Wait.
I played center field. Between my sophomore year and junior year of high school, I grew a tremendous amount of height.
Oh, wait, no, this isn't it. But you can listen to this. This is
I
good.
ended up growing to be 6'3". I describe it, I was running like a newborn giraffe. I was super lanky. I was super, to handle my new body. And so in high school, they moved me over to first base. And we were blessed in high school, we had a 6-hour class every day. It was a class, but it was baseball. And so every single day I'm at first base, and that's where I got really good, is because of that class. Because of the work that we put in high school, I got comfortable over there.
You are a very good defensive first base.
Thank good.
And a Gold Glove center field. When we played each other in AAA, right, we were both coming up. You were playing first, you were picking it. Then you would fly down the line, and then you get to the big leagues, and you're playing some outfield and some first and mix it in, and then you go in the Gold Glove and center. It's like, that is a very rare combination, but super impressive for the athleticism.
So grew up, I was always this little guy on the field, I really was. And so
that was kind of cool. But here's where he talks about the base thing, or the shift.
Here's what Cody Bellinger had to say about the band.
it's just
Hold up. Shout out to Fuzzy, by the way. Great YouTuber. Go check him out.
opens up a completely different part of the game. Your whole life growing up, you hit a line drive, your pitcher's right right there. You hit a line drive back at his face. That's a hit your whole life. You have a third baseman in right field. Until that ball you've hit in front of right field used to be hit your whole life. And now you got Manny Machado standing right there catching everything. What I was telling him, what I'm most excited for, I think, and I don't know how exactly it's going to look and how it's going to work, but I think it's going to bring a lot of athleticism back into the game.
Yeah.
So these infielders are going to have to cover a lot of ground and show off, what they can do as opposed to, standing where the ball's probably going to be hit. For me, as just like a baseball fan, I think that's pretty exciting.
Here's what Cody Bellinger had to.
So that's kind of what Cody Bellinger had to say. So he talked about, and I think it's going to be better this year because of that shift rating. We can now talk about the shift. What are your opinions on it getting banned?
I don't like it. I liked that you were allowed to play wherever you want. Because if you're gonna have, let's say, 3 out of your 4 infielders playing right field for Cody Bellinger, you can just bunt to the left, make him go over back. Bunt
It's
to
not
the-
that easy.
I know, but just slow down your swing. Make yourself hit it to the left. Step more towards the pitcher instead of what his stance is open. When it's open, you're hitting it to right field every single time. Don't open your stance and just hit it down the third base line. Make yourself hit it down the third base line. If you can't do that, then you deserve to get out. If you can't really control where you're gonna hit it, or think where you're gonna hit it, I think that the players should be able to play wherever they want. And if you can, I think that you should be able to control where you're gonna hit it. And if you can't do that, then you can get out every time. I think that the players should be allowed to do that. And how are you gonna say how are the umpires gonna say where they have to be standing? Is there gonna be a certain zone that if the player is out of that the umpires can go tell them to go back, or does it just have to be really obvious?
That brings up a really good point. I never actually thought about it like that. Yes, pull it to left field. Guys, that's a good reason. But I kind of agree. I think the shift will being banned. I'll have to see. It'd be fun to watch in spring training how it is. And spring training is in.
I think it's end of March. Or beginning of March, I meant.
Spring training countdown. We have
February 14th.
it's February 4th. We have 16 days until spring training pitchers and catchers report. And I think it's what about MLB review our season touchdown.
March 30th. Is
It's March 30th, so Carter, you're good at math, though. How about you do the math? It is January something today.
28th, I believe.
28th?
I believe it's
Yeah, January 28th to March 30th.
28th. And is it a leap year?
No.
Okay.
Just how many days?
It depends on if it's a leap year.
It does?
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay, so
I'll just try to find it. This is April 3rd, 2023.
64 days, 2 hours, 24 minutes, and 53 seconds.
Where do you see that? Oh, 64 days. So we're getting there. We're getting close. But back to shift. It'll be fun to see how Pleasant's pitching. But Cody Bellinger brings up a good point. it brings back a lot of athleticism. And I don't mind the shortstop over at second base, but when you have your third baseman going all over to shallow right field, like that's a little excessive, I feel like.
Teach yourself to hit it to left field. As Cody Bellinger, teach yourself to hit it to left field.
Easier said than done.
I know, but you're a professional. Teach yourself how to hit it to left field.
Yeah, or good hitting coach. You do have a good point there, but it'll be interesting to see. I guess I have to see before I can really make it.
Like, make the other teams move back. Make them play over left field. Show them that you can hit over there. Once you show them that you can, they'll move
then
back.
you're gonna get paid more money. You're gonna be a better player. More teams are gonna want you, and it's just gonna be a better deal if you start doing that. But now with the shift gone, you also are gonna be a better player. More teams are gonna want you. You probably gonna get paid more because, like he said, when you hit it to right field, your entire life, that's a base hit. And now in the majors, you got me in the Machado stand right there.
Yeah. I just feel like you should be allowed to shift because I just don't get when the umpires are gonna decide if it's a shift or not. I just want to know where the zone, where the third baseman is allowed to stand. Like, is there a specific zone or does it have to be obvious? Like, I just think that the umpires. I'm just wondering when it's gonna be considered a shift or not.
Yeah, I feel like I said a million times now, I do think it's just going to be up to, we're going to have to see.
Yeah.
During the spring training.
I think that they should have
It's
started.
a good idea.
I think they should have started it in the minors. See
They
how
did, I think.
they did.
Maybe, I don't know.
Well, if they didn't, they
What
should have
about-
started out in the minors.
what
So
about-
then we can see how that plays out
We
and
have-
see how good that is. For
I have two more questions. We have bigger bases now and pitch clock. We'll start off with bigger bases. What's your opinion on that?
Nope, keep bases the exact same because it's gonna because if you have bigger bases, isn't it gonna add like maybe not a full inch, but like a few centimeters closer to home plate? Just because it's a bigger base, it's gonna change out calls that in the past would be called safe calls now. Because some plays are that close, where centimeters matter. It's gonna make more safe calls and less out calls. It's gonna make it harder for the fielders. And if this was true years ago, that could be changing the outcomes of lots of games.
Yeah, I don't really mind it. They did it to prevent injury. I get that. I think it will prevent a little bit of injury in your hands. But it does shorten up the base path. I'm a little confused why they did it, but I don't mind it. Moving on a pitch clock, that's going to be interesting for some pitchers. I know Kyle Hendricks talked about it in a Cubs convention. He wasn't worried about it for his team. What's your take on that?
Yeah, I feel like it's gonna be difficult, especially for Yu Darvish, because Yu Darvish is like one of the pitchers that takes up almost 30 seconds in between each pitch. I think that'll be good because it'll speed up the game. It'll make games that are 3 hours, 3.5 hours, 4 hours. It'll take it down like to 2.5 hours, and maybe at most 3 hours unless it's an extra inning game. Then maybe you can go 3.5 hours, 4 hours. But I feel like it'll be good because NFL games are not 3 hours long.
Yeah,
Basketball games are not 3
exactly.
hours long. Cricket games are, but nobody watches cricket. Cricket games can last days. But it'll shorten up the games, and I think it'll give more fans to the MLB.
Okay. I don't mind it. Speeds up the game. I don't got a problem with it. We've talked about baseball for a while now. We're half the stream. Let's go talk about NFL. I got my Fields jersey on, as you guys can tell. I'm a Bears fan. You're a Bears fan. I also like the Colts. Let's talk about the Bears. They were 3-12, or 3-14, something like that. They are now the number 1 seed,
Yeah, number one.
or number 1 draft pick. Sorry. Will they take that pick, or will they trade down a bit. I know the Colts are speculation. Colts are wanting to go up, and the Bears will get a 5th, 6th, and a 10th first rounder. I think that's a good.
Yeah, I don't really care what the Bears do as long as they're not taking a Mitch Trubisky over Patty Mahomes situation again. I don't care what the Bears do, but
I think they should trade down. I don't care if it's the Colts or who it is.
I believe
But-
the
But there's a lot of good quarterbacks in this draft, and the Bears don't need their quarterback. They have their franchise quarterback, Justin Fields. He showed it this year. That week 5 and on, he had a really good season. Broke the rushing record in a single game. Almost broke it the next 2 games. His own record. So he's shown that he can be a good one. If he can get some line, get one more solid receiver, his passing numbers will increase. Because back at Ohio State, his scrambling numbers were really good. And his passing numbers were really good. But back in Ohio State, he had a good line. He had good receivers. That's why he's one of the better picks in the draft. And then there's this the lineman now that's in the 2023 draft. I don't remember his name. But he may fall down to him. People are speculating that they'll pick him number 1. But I think they can still get back or drop down a few picks and still get him.
I think I'm gonna go back to the Bears' record. I think that they were tanking. I think that they were tanking for a good pick, and I don't blame them because I did not think
Yeah,
that they
I
were
don't
going to be a playoff team. I think
They're
that
not
they
going
were
to be
tanking.
playing, so you might as well tank down, maybe here's a bet, and get a good draft pick and try to improve this.
Yeah, because they started out with about a 500 record. I think they were like 3 and something early on in the season, but then they just started losing, and then I think towards the last 5-6 weeks they were purposely losing just to get the good draft pick, and I don't blame them for that. And I wanted them to lose. I was wanting them to lose for the good draft pick. I don't really care what they do in the draft, as long as they get good players. But Justin Fields, I don't like that he's rushing this much. I think that he's eventually going to get himself injured, and he's going to, like, really badly, just because of how much he rushes. You can get away with that in college, because the defensive players in college is not the same as the NFL. You can get away with that in college. But once you get to the NFL, you're going to get yourself hurt. Lamar Jackson, I don't believe, does it as much as Justin Fields. I think that a quarterback comes to the NFL to be able to pass the ball, not to run the ball. That's the running back's job. The running back's job is to run the ball, not the quarterback's. So, if he can, I don't think that he can go his full career without getting a major injury because of how much he runs.
Yeah, I like the rushing. I like his ability to do that. I was a big fan of Lamar Jackson for a couple years when he was really good at rushing and when he did, I think he won the MVP, or he was really close. And I do think it is the running back shot, but his versatility, it's good. But he does need an increase in the passing. I do 100% agree with that. But I saw a video. I can pull it up here soon. But it is him. He gets hit maybe the most out of any Russian quarterback in the league, or just any quarterback in the league. When he slides, he gets hit so much at mid-slide, which you're not supposed to do. And they don't get called, that he's getting mad now about it.
Yeah, but when he's not rushing and when he's getting rushed like they're about to sack him, sometimes he'll get out of it, but when he can't get out of it and he throws it downfield, he's throwing picks. Every single time. If he's going to throw it, unless he's throwing it out of bounds, which I think that he should do that every time. If Justin Fields only, if he's getting rushed, throw it out of bounds. Don't throw a lollipop towards the end zone just for someone to go intercept it. Just throw it out of bounds, or scramble. Find a way to scramble then. I'm okay with scrambling if you're about to get sacked, but don't just make sure that there's people at all.
So here's the video.
Fields took to the media to complain he always gets hit late, never gets any flags, and he's going to start begging the refs for calls. He cited when he was hit by Ndamukong Suh, he felt he was down, but no flag was called.
I felt like I was down and like oh God, coming back. So I'm like, pause. But just
Justin Fields took to
So he's obviously not happy with the refs calls, and I agree. He does get hit late a lot. But go back to the injury thing. He does have the risk of being injured.
And I think he has been injured. It wasn't major.
No, it's not been major. Which he's a tough guy. When he gets injured, he either sits out for the rest of the game, gets back in the next, or sits there and gets right back in. But what I want to talk about, can we talk about that Week 18 Texans game? Oh my goodness, the Colts were winning that game by so much.
Oh, that Colts Vikings game?
No, the Colts Texans Week 18.
Oh, I didn't watch that
The
game.
Colts were winning by a decent amount. The Bears were losing against the Lions by quite a bit. I think it was the Lions at least. Maybe the Vikings. I don't remember. But, so the Bears were like, yes, we're gonna... and the Texans were needing to win. And they wanted the Texans to win. And they're like, no, the Texans are gonna lose, and we're gonna lose, and they're gonna get the 1 seed, and not us. And then they tied up in the fourth quarter. The Texans do, or no, down by 1. And they're like, oh, they're just gonna go for 2 and purpose a good sack, or they're just gonna miss the field goal, just get the number 1 pick. They call for 2 and get it and win the game to get the number 2 pick. What's your take on that? Do you go for it there when you're down by 1 point at the end of the game? Do you go for that 2 points like, okay, we need to win this game now? Or do you like, I want the 1 seed, I'm missing this field goal on purpose?
Well, it depends on if you want your fans to be happy right now or if you want your fans to be happy in the future. If you want your fans to be happy in the future, don't do it. But if you want your fans to be happy then, go for it.
Yeah, that's a good point. But my conspiracy theory, or not conspiracy theory, but what I've recalled, they're not recalled, but can't speak. Are the Bears better than the Packers?
This season...
This season, no, but in the future. Next season, are they going to be better? We saw...
Next season, I think we have to wait for signings. I think we need to wait for the offseason.
I do too.
I can't say anything because we don't know if Rodgers is leaving, Rodgers is staying, Rodgers is retiring. We don't know anything about Rodgers. He doesn't want to stay in Green Bay. We learned that last year. He doesn't want to be in Green Bay.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think we're just going to have to wait and see. I can't say anything about that yet. I hope the Bears are better than the Packers next year, but we can't say anything about that yet. It's too early.
I agree. I'm gonna do some hating on. I'm gonna do some hating on the Packers. Sorry, Packers fans. But the first half of Aaron Rodgers, terrible season. Absolutely terrible first half. Second half he bounced back. Aaron Rodgers gets hit hard. He's out for a couple games, for the rest of the game. Jordan Love comes in, puts up a good amount of passing yards, over 300, I think, or no, over 100 passing yards in just 3 minutes. Pretty good. And now they're saying that they're going to get rid of Aaron Rodgers, and Jordan Love is going to be their all-star QB, and he's going to be their forever QB. He is the guy, which I don't think he is. He's, I cannot remember his name now. But is the Packers backup going to be their guy?
I'm not sure. I think that they should pick up a new quarterback. If Aaron
I
Rodgers leaves...
Or draft him. Because the Cubs have, or the Bears have that number 1 pick. The Packers could trade up to get that number 1 pick and get the top QB in the draft.
Yeah, they
That'd
could,
be the smart move.
they
Because
could do
Jordan
that.
Love is not it.
They could do that, but I think that it would be more. I think that it would take longer for that quarterback to be good. If you're gonna draft him, I think it would take longer. I think that they want someone now. Because they don't have a bad team. They don't have a terrible team. They were close to postseason this season. They were close
Also
to
Lions.
they were close to playoffs, within like a game or two.
Yeah, they lost the Lions in the kicking, so that means they've already played the Vikings.
So the Packers are in a weird situation with their quarterback. Kind of like the Buccaneers. Like the Buccaneers, we don't know if Brady's staying. We don't know if Brady's leaving.
I doubt he is.
I think he might be going to the Raiders. I think he might be going to Las Vegas, but I
Because
don't.
Derek Carr is probably going to leave the season.
Yeah, but the Raiders apparently like old quarterbacks.
Apparently.
But I
think
personally
that Tom
want.
Brady's going to the Jets. Because the Jets, Zach Wilson, terrible. They're, no matter what this season, they're getting rid of him. But I think they're going to stick with their backup because they played their backup quite a bit in the regular season and he put up the numbers. I bet they're just going to throw them. But back to the Packers. People are saying that Aaron Rodgers is bad. His bad first half was because he was injured. It had a thumb injury. Yes, but it didn't seem to affect him that much. He just had a bad first half. And I personally think the Bears wide receiver core is a little bit better than the Packers. They're saying, oh, we have Christian Watson, great rookie. Yes, you do. As your one wide receiver. You have their second guy, what's his name? I think his name. Oh yeah, Alan Lazard. I had him on my fantasy team. He played a game. He didn't get much points. Got injured for about a week, or for a couple of weeks. Played a game. Got hurt. Played a game. Got hurt. Got hurt for like the rest of for quite a bit. Came back in week 15. Played the rest of the season, but he wasn't back then. He's just too injured that I can't put anything on him. But then the Bears, they have Darnell Mooney, had considerably one of the best seasons of his career this year. Had a great catch against the Vikings in week 2. And then he had, and then at the offseason, or not offseason, at the deadline, they went out, get Chase Claypool from the Steelers. Great ad there. A young stud receiver. They did trade away Robert Quinn and Roquan Smith, which I don't like because now their defense is terrible. But except Eddie Jackson. But I do think the Bears wide receiver core is a little bit better.
Yeah, but do you need wide receivers when all your quarterback does is run?
True. Yeah. Well, if you can get a good old line, because Fields right now has no time in the pocket, so he has to scramble because he's got no other option.
Yeah, but when he's with Ohio
If
State,
he gets a good old line, then he can pass the ball.
he can pass the ball. But back in Ohio State, good O-line, scramble.
But he still threw over 500 yards a season. He still had an incredible season on passing numbers.
Yeah, but he's playing against college kids.
And
He's a pro football player.
there's a lot of pros that he faced. Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, Justin
but-
Jefferson.
Yeah, but they're offensive players. He's an offensive player. He didn't play against them. He played against defensive players.
There's a lot of defensive players that went to the NFL. And then-
Yeah, but not all of them. I'd say a few. The majority of the defense that he's playing was NFL talent. The majority of it wasn't. Some of it was. Some of it was good defense, but the majority of it wasn't.
Yeah.
Just like any college sport, the majority of it isn't NBA talent, MLB talent, NFL talent. The majority of it isn't,
Yeah.
but some of it is.
It'll be interesting to see this offseason and next season, a couple weeks in, see what the Bears are going to be doing, see what the Packers are going to be doing. It's going to be a very decent division. With the Lions, they're going to be good. They have Aiden Hutchinson and DeAndre Swift, and then St. Brown, the good brother. The Bears have the bad one. And then who else is in our division?
Vikings, Lions.
Vikings, Lions, Falcons, Bears. So that's it. it's going to be very underrated. It's not going to be a good division. It's kind of a toss-up division next season, I think.
Yeah, I think that the Vikings got a little bit lucky this season because
Kirk Cousins is not the man.
because they were like
I still like
because I think that they're like the first 8-2, 8-3 team or whatever to have a negative point difference. Because I think that which means that the opponent scored more points than they scored the whole season, and they were an 8-2 team. Which means that they lost by quite a bit and they won by very little. I think that it was a lucky season for the Vikings.
I do too. And can we just, moving on from the NFC North, let's talk about the Chargers-Jags playoff game. Trevor Lawrence, 4 picks, and I think he fumbled the ball once. The kickoff team, they fumbled the ball. It was 27-0 at the end of the first half. Jags come back and win 37-27.
I stopped watching at halftime because I thought the game was over. The game was over, and then I check in later that night, and I actually thought that, because I asked my Alexa that question, who won that game, and I thought that my Alexa was joking about it. I thought that it was all a joke, and then I looked it
there
up.
ain't no way.
And then I looked it up, and the Jags ended up winning.
That second half was crazy.
Yeah.
I didn't really watch the second half because I actually was shocked because I'm like, this game's over. Come back in the fourth quarter, and it's a 5-point game. Or no, it's a 3-point game. I'm like, what on earth happened?
Yeah.
And then they kept it close with the Chiefs, but then they didn't really. And then Mahomes got the sprained ankle. He's like, I'm like, oh great, this is not gonna be good. And then they ended up winning the game by quite a bit. But.
Yeah.
And back to the Chiefs-Bengals game, I think that's a better game than the Eagles-49ers because Joe Burrow, every single season, or since Burrow has been in the NFL, every time that they played the Chiefs, the Bengals have won. And now that Josh Allen lost to Joe Burrow, they're saying it's Patrick Mahomes number 1, Joe Burrow number 2, and Josh Allen number 3. I still think it's Mahomes, then Josh Allen, then Joe Burrow. I like Josh Allen too because he's a big man who's fast, throw for a lot of yards. He can jump, as we saw this season. He trucks people. He's a pretty good scrambler, good passer. He's got Stephon Diggs. He's got Knox. He's got Devin McKenzie. He's got Gabriel Davis. He's got good receivers. Joe Burrow, yes, he's got Boyd. He's got Jamar Chase. Joe Mixon, he's a good running back and pass and receiving. And they got Hayden Hurst as their tight end. They're a good team. I think Joe Burrow is right up there with Josh Allen, but I think I just need to see a little bit more out of Joe Burrow before I can say he's past Josh Allen.
Would you consider Matthew Stafford and Lamar Jackson being up there? I know that the Rams and Matthew Stafford didn't have a good season this year, but would you consider them up there?
Matthew Stafford's 2021 season, I would say he's a top 10 quarterback in 2021. Lamar Jackson, I don't really know about Lamar Jackson. He was hurt for most of the year this season, so I'm not going to say anything about Lamar Jackson. But I don't know quite my top 5 list, but I think Justin Herbert is in that top 5 at number 5. I think it's got to go Mahomes, Allen, Burrow, and then maybe, and then at 5, Herbert. At 4, it's kind of a toss-up between Rodgers, but he didn't have a great season this year. Rodgers, Brady, maybe. His past couple seasons have been good.
Last season was good. This season wasn't.
And then, it's, that number 4 spot's a toss-up.
My top 5.
A lot of guys.
My top 5 is going Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow, and then I'd go Lamar Jackson, Matthew Stafford, because I don't think that Matthew Stafford's a bad quarterback.
No,
I just
he
think
showed
that
it with the Lions too. That he's a good quarterback. I think he's top 10. I think he's about number 8, 7.
I just don't think his team was as good this season.
But Herbert is a really good quarterback. He's a young quarterback. He showed it. I think he is a solid number 5 player. I don't know who number 4 is, but he's number 5. I can tell you that much.
I think of Matthew Stafford as kind of a Mike Trout of NFL. He's a good player on a not so good team for this year. Matthew Stafford. He has won he did win a championship with them last year, where Mike Trout still has seen a postseason with the Angels yet. But but for this year, he kind of seems like a Mike Trout, a good player on a not so good team.
Mm-hmm. I agree with that statement. Yeah, I'm still trying to think of my number 4. Let's go to top 5 receivers. Or top 5 receivers, but who's better? I've been wondering those guys for so long. Jamar Chase or Justin Jefferson? They're basically the same player. They both went to LSU with Joe Burrow as the quarterback. Who is the better receiver, Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase? I'm in a toss-up.
Justin Jefferson, because he made the Grady.
Well, Jamar Chase also did Grady.
Yeah.
They made it out at the same time.
Yeah, but Justin Jefferson's more famous for it.
Sure. I'm going to toss up. I'm personally saying Jamar Chase because I like Jamar Chase better, but it could go either way. But my top 5 receivers, I think number 1, without a doubt, or not without a doubt, but number 1, we got Jamar Chase. He's a great style receiver. I want him on my team. Number 2, Justin Jefferson. Great receiver, again. Number 3, I'm in a toss-up between CeeDee Lamb and Cooper Kupp. Cooper Kupp, he was really good, but this season didn't have the best year. I'm a believer in Cooper Kupp. I'm going to put Cooper Kupp. Number 4, I'm going to put CeeDee Lamb. He had a great season. Number 5, I'm going to put Deebo Samuel in the Niners. He's kind of a running back, but he had a good season this year. That's my top 5.
What about Stephon Diggs? Would you put? I think you should put
Stephon Diggs.
I think you need to put Stephon Diggs over Cooper Kupp at least. I think Stephon Diggs is better than Cooper Kupp.
I'm changing it. Number 4 says CeeDee Lamb. I'm putting Stephon Diggs. Kind of forgot about Stephon Diggs. And then I'm going my number 5 as Deebo Samuel still. And then number 6, I'm putting CeeDee Lamb. What's your top 5?
I'm not really sure. I haven't watched much football this year because the Bears have been doing
Terrible.
not so good. But I could probably give you my top 3.
They were.
I'd want to put Stephon Diggs number 1. I think that he is the best wide receiver.
He is a really, really good wide receiver. And his feelings are for it too. He trucked a cameraman, and
he trucked a cameraman, which makes him a good wide receiver.
No, he trucked a cameraman, and he did not play. He had to sit out a couple plays. He paused the game because he had to make sure he was okay. He felt really terrible for hitting the cameraman. I think it was a woman. That was the camera woman, I guess. And when Damar Hamlin got hurt, he felt the same way. He's got good feelings. He's a great receiver. Minneapolis Miracle guy. I do think Stephon Diggs is a really good receiver.
And then for number 2, I put Justin Jefferson. And number 3, I go Mike Evans.
Whoa! Over Jamar?
Yeah. I think Mike Evans is one of the better receivers in the NFL. I put him at number 3. I feel like that Tom Brady and Mike Evans did really good together. I'm not sure next season, though, without Tom Brady. In the 2021 season, Mike Evans and Tom Brady, they did really good. Because last year, I think, was Tom Brady's last above average year. I think this year was an average, below average year for Tom Brady.
He was also dealing with outside football situations,
Yeah.
though. So
Yeah, but I'm not sure what's going to happen with Brady next year. I think that Mike Evans is still going to be a good wide receiver, though, even without Brady.
yeah, and then that brings up a good point with Mike Evans. What do you think about Adam Thielen of the Vikings? He's getting older. He's still a solid receiver in my book. He's still top
Yeah.
10. I think he falls in right at that 9-10 slot.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
So, talked about football for a while. Talked about a lot of baseball. A lot of Cody Bellinger, actually. I don't know as much about college basketball. You are an expert at college basketball. I'm actually going to hand the computer over to you. You can look up whatever you want about college basketball. You take it away. I'll try to do my best.
Okay, so this year it's been kind of crazy. We've had multiple number one seeds, number one teams this season. We've had, I know the rankings don't matter. I know the AP poll doesn't matter at all, and that BPI and net rankings are somewhat taking over, but we've had Alabama losing today to Oklahoma, at Oklahoma, by 24. It's on the TV right now, but
Yep.
the score's right there.
93-69.
So
2 seed Alabama, too.
yeah, number 2 Alabama lost today, and we've had Kansas, who was number 2. They've
No.
been losing for a while. They haven't.
Now they're in number 6, but now they may have just gone up a little bit, beating Kentucky. I know Kentucky's unranked, but Kentucky's one of those teams that are just barely unranked.
Yeah, I think that they're still gonna. I think that they're not gonna go down too much. I think they're still gonna go down a little bit.
Yeah.
But
You know Kansas beat Kentucky, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm
yeah,
saying,
but just
are they going?
just because of what's happened. No, I think they're gonna stay about the same. But then we've had Creighton, who's been a disappointment this season. They had a good run. I think they were in the Maui tournament. If I believe so. They were in the Maui tournament, and then they lost at Nebraska. They lost at home to Nebraska. And then ever since then, they've been doing bad. Kentucky was a disappointment until.
I think with North Carolina kind of was like Gonzaga this year. They've been kind of big disappointment.
Yeah,
North Carolina being the NCAA champions last year.
Yes. No, they were second place. They lost
No.
to Kansas in the championship.
No, they won.
No,
North Carolina did.
I believe they lost. I can look it up.
I think they won. In 2022 or 2021. Oh yeah, kind of 2022.
Yeah, Kansas.
Really?
2022. Yeah. Because they had that big comeback win over North Carolina.
Oh.
But I kind of saw this season coming from North Carolina. With it, not at the very beginning, but within their first 3-4 games, I noticed that they weren't winning by as much as they should be to not so good teams. Like, they should have been winning by double digits. They were winning by single digits or low double digits, and they were letting the other teams hang in there. So I saw this coming, and I knew that by the time that they got to their, they were in the Phil Knight Invitational tournament in Portland. I knew that they were going to lose at least one game there. I wasn't sure if they were going to make it to the championship or not, and they ended up not making it to the championship. They played against Alabama in the third place game and lost in double overtime, maybe. I think it might have been quadruple overtime. I can't remember.
Couldn't tell you.
It was back in November. I can't remember.
Oh,
this,
that
but-
game. I think it was quadruple overtime.
Yeah, it was something crazy like that. So then they lost that, which made them drop. But also that same week, you had Purdue going from number 24 all the way to number 5, beating number 6 Gonzaga in Portland, which is basically a home game for Gonzaga because they're in Washington, I believe. So that's not very far away from Portland, Oregon. Well, you got Purdue coming all the way from West Lafayette, Indiana, near like about an hour away from Indianapolis, going all the way to Portland, and pretty much beating Gonzaga on their home court, and winning against West Virginia.
Are they
also
still the
in
1
Portland.
seed? Purdue?
Yeah, they just became number 1 this week, and then they also beat, at the time, number 8 Duke, who's been going down ever since. I think they're
We don't-
26. They're receiving
we don't
votes.
talk about Duke right now. I'm a Duke fan. He's a Purdue fan. And I was so happy at the beginning of the year we're doing so good, and now we just suck.
Yeah, I think they're 26
They're
right now.
getting
They're
there.
receiving votes,
We're getting
but
I
I
just
think
want to be ranked by the end of the year. I don't care what rank. I just want to be ranked.
I think they're ranked in the coaches poll, and then you got UConn, who went
Or
from,
just really just make the tournament.
Then you got UConn, who was number 2 at a time.
Really?
It's been because they were number 2 and Purdue is somewhere up there. I can't remember, but they were doing so good, and then they lost to Xavier on New Year's Eve. And then after that they just started doing bad. I think they're still top 25, but they've been going down. And then earlier this week we had Houston playing against unranked Temple at Houston at home. And Houston lost by 1 point, and they almost had a huge tip-in. They had about 1.2 seconds, I want to say. I'm not sure if that's correct. You can go check that. I don't care. But they had not very much time, and they threw it up there. And they had to tip it in, and they missed left. That was so close to getting a game-winning shot, but Temple upset them at their home court. So that dropped Houston down to number 3. I think they should have got more, just losing that at home. But I'm okay with that. Purdue's number 1 now. And that's about all I got for that. I feel like I talked a lot.
Alright, NBA, we don't want to talk about, do you know anything that's happening in NBA?
I know James Harden's a 76er.
Yep.
That's it.
Yeah, same here. Is it even the off season? Or is it, I don't even know.
It's still in the
Still
middle.
going.
It's still in the middle of the season.
Yeah, because the All-Star game, I saw All-Star game. Right, alright.
Oh yeah, they just did the All-Star game draft, but I have no idea who's in
Yeah,
it.
neither do I.
I think Luka Doncic is in it.
He's gotta be. Yeah, I mean, he's the best player in the NBA right now.
Maybe
Or
not.
this season.
On Kupo probably too, but
And Steph, like always, and LeBron, unfortunately. I know,
I'm not sure if LeBron's in it. I don't think
LeBron's a coach.
he's a coach.
Yeah, LeBron is like the head captain of the team.
Oh,
Even with
okay.
Giannis,
Oh, it's
but
like-
they still play. But they're like the head
Oh,
captain.
is that draft like Team LeBron, Team Giannis?
I think so. I have no idea. But I think that's how it is. I was gonna say something. Do you have anything else? I don't know NHL. I don't know racing. I don't really know golf. Do you know tennis?
Yes.
I know a little bit
It's
tennis.
the
We got that.
championship of the Australian Open. I think it might be on right now, if I believe. I believe so. Australian Open. Nope, it's gonna be on tomorrow at 2:30 a.m.
Oh God.
So that's gonna be early. It's Djokovic, who is one of the best tennis players. I believe he is. I'm just gonna look this up. I think he's won 20 plus major tennis titles. I'll just look that up.
Oh, Bailey's ranked 17th apparently. Oklahoma State beat Ole Miss 82-60.
Yeah, he's won 21 Grand Slam titles, which is just the major tennis tournaments, and he's has a record for 9 Australian Open tournaments, which is championships, which is what he's in right now. He's gonna play tomorrow at 2:30 a.m. and he's playing against this one person who I don't want to missay his name, but it's Tsitsipas. I'm sorry if he's Greek, I believe. And I don't know how to pronounce his name, so if you know how to, great. But yeah, I'm
Whoa! Wow, that boy just got trucked. They're showing highlights of number 17 ranked Baylor versus unranked Arkansas. The Baylor dude just trucked the Arkansas dude.
But I'm good at playing tennis. I'm not really a tennis fan, so I know who Djokovic is. I don't know many others. I know Nadal and I know
I don't know.
Serena and Venus Williams, who
Yeah, I
I believe
know.
they recently retired.
I know, and then I know that guy. I can never remember his name, but I know that, like, if I see his face, I'm like, oh, he plays tennis. But
So
yeah, I don't know anything about that. So I don't have any more things about sports. Do you?
No, that's about all I can come up with for now.
Yeah, I want to see this final score of this game, and we'll end the stream. I don't know how does 670 go on for 6 hours about talking about sports. I mean, we're up to the 3 hour mark, I think, but like 6 hours.
I don't know.
I mean, they also have calls that are coming in, and they have David Ross coming in, and just players coming in. But it says 102 minutes. So.
Yeah, that's an hour 40.
Oh really? An hour 40? No, that's about 2 hours. I thought.
No, it's hour 40.
Oh, I missed the score.
That's still a lot, though.
Not really. Oh, kind of is. Apparently, Avalanche won against the Blues 4-2 in hockey.
And Panthers beat Bruins. I'm a Bruins fan.
Panthers beat Bruins 4-3 in overtime.
I'm also a Penguins fan, just because the Red Sox owner thought about buying them.
Really?
Yeah.
That's kind of funny, actually.
I'm not sure if he did or not. I haven't heard anything about it. I just knew he thought about it.
No, that's what's the final score of that Clemson game? Clemson versus.
Oh yeah, that was 82-81 Clemson, I believe, because
Yeah, Clemson won
then
against.
Florida
Texas
State,
Tech
because
won
Florida State decided
76-68
that
against LSU.
because Florida State decided that it'd be a good idea not to get a shot off at the very end of the game. But
Yep.
I'm not going to talk a lot about that.
The Big 12 has 7 wins, and the SEC has 3, as we mentioned earlier in the game. They're in Challenge Cup right now. This is our college basketball. The Senators beat the Canadians. The Canadians?
Yeah, the Canadians.
5-0. In hockey, Sharks beat the Penguins 6-4. Was your final in that NHL game?
I could go crazy about college basketball coaching, but I'm not, because I don't want to
Yeah. How about?
make people mad about that.
Yeah. We've probably made a bunch of people mad already about Packers. Because
Yeah.
I know Caden was watching earlier, and he's a Packers fan. So, Lightning beat the Kings 5-2. It's a pretty good win. 12-game home win streak for Tampa Bay. It's a Tampa Bay record. Apparently, didn't know that. Did you?
No, I don't pay attention to hockey enough. But
The Flyers beat the Jets 4-0 in hockey. All I know is that is a high school. Oh, let's talk about the World Cup.
the World Cup, I don't.
That was a crazy final. Did you watch the final game against Argentina and I don't remember the other team, but I know they have Mbappe. Did you watch that final game?
No, I don't know much about soccer, but if you do, you can go ahead.
I don't really know much about soccer either, but that final game, that was nuts. Mbappe with the hat-trick goals. Leonardo Messi going crazy too. It was a battle between Mbappe and Leonardo Messi. Comes down to a penalty shootout, or no, a shootout. And Mbappe let it off for the make. Messi made it off for the make. Just kept making. And then the other team, not Argentina, the other team, can't remember the name, they missed.
I think Morocco was in there, and I don't think they made it past the semifinals.
And then look up the Argentina game real quick, see if the other team is. And then I think Argentina only missed 1. The other team missed 2. And that was a championship in a shootout. Like that was pretty insane. Argentina versus France.
Yeah, Morocco played Croatia in the third
Yeah.
place game.
Right. I mean, that was a good game. That's all I know about soccer. But I watched the end of that, and it was pretty insane. Me and my dad were pretty entertained, actually. That was the first time that we were ever really entertained about soccer. First time we ever really watched soccer.
Yeah, I got lots
Usually
of stuff.
soccer's kind of boring, but in my opinion at least. But that was kind of a cool game to watch. Anything else?
Yeah, I feel like soccer's too slow-paced, but...
Yeah, exactly. I don't get the whole time thing. Like,
but I'm
they
saying,
runs on and then they add like 5 minutes at the end of the game. It's like, I'm so confused.
but you can judge me all you want because I was saying that soccer's slow-paced as a baseball fan, but...
Yeah, exactly. You got any more baseball to talk about? Anything else?
I don't think so.
Alright, what time is it? It is 10:41 our time, so it's Friday to the end of the stream. Thank you guys for tuning in, and we will catch you guys in the next one. And some dude is throw paper thing at our out of our TV.
And on
I was
SEC now on
Right.
ESPN.
Well-
I'm gonna watch that.
We'll see you guys in the next live stream. So, how do we stop?